Look, we're working through those issues. As I've said before, the advice we get from health is always evolving depending on where we are in the pandemic, and whilst I'm always concerned when we have new cases of community transmission, it shouldn't preclude us from looking at what opportunities we have in the next few weeks. So the health experts and also, in fact, the economists are giving me, and the Treasurer would be well aware of this, we're getting dual advice on where we're up to and what we can consider in the next few weeks. We haven't ruled out any further easing of restrictions. We are considering what will happen in the next few days and beyond, and we'll base our decisions on the health advice. Yeah, I still don't know where they got that 48-hour time limit from, because as we've seen during the pandemic, sometimes it takes health just a few hours to identify a known link or a known source, and sometimes it takes up to days and sometimes weeks, and I don't have an issue with that so long as health is on top of the genomic testing and on top of trying to establish those links, and I have every confidence that will continue. I still don't know where the Queensland government got that 48-hour deadline from. It was completely new to me. I've never heard it before, but again, I think it demonstrates that sometimes there's an attitude of wanting to stick to your decision, notwithstanding whatever else is happening, and I think that's the case.
We've got a world-class contact tracing system here in New South Wales. We're doing everything we can to try and stop COVID, but you've said time and time again that there is no way that we will be able to stop all community transmission. What else can you do to convince Queensland that we are capable of stopping outbreaks?
Well, that's a really good question. I think we've demonstrated, again I say immodestly, a world-class system of dealing with the pandemic. I would ask the Queensland government to look anywhere around the world where we have a population the size of New South Wales, where we have the open economy that we do, and the way that we're dealing with the virus. I think all of us here can feel proud of what we've achieved. In fact, Australia overall has done well. Yes, the Victorian situation was a concern and was a very concerning situation for a number of months. And remains so. But overall, I think if you look at New South Wales and what we've achieved, I certainly have confidence in the resilience of our state. But I also know, and when I say I know that exception was taken to my use of the word high alert, but during a pandemic, we need to be on high alert every day, and frankly, every other state premier and every other state leader has to as well. High alert is a state we have to be in during a pandemic because the virus is so contagious. It's so easy to have an outbreak. It's so easy for it to spread. And it would be remiss of me not to be completely open with the public when new cases of community transmission come up. It's my job to make sure, along with Dr. Chant and the Minister and our whole team, to make sure we communicate in real time as effectively as possible onto the risks, and that is what we need to do during the pandemic. And while some people are very confident about a vaccine emerging next year or earlier, as a leader I need to plan for assuming the vaccine may not arrive next year. I don't want to say that, but there's a possibility that we have to live with this for a while. And what we need to do in New South Wales is make sure we give our citizens every opportunity to have a good job, to have a good lifestyle, whilst being COVID safe. And that's exactly the balance we're striking.